Hi everyone.
Hello, hello.
So we are coming at you today from the Spirit Within with one of the most common questions we get in the shop. And that is for those who are beginning their spiritual journey, where is a good place to start? So I'm here with the beautiful Liane to ask, what are some places you would recommend for people to go to, whether it's books or kind of where to start? How would you recommend somebody?
Well, the first thing that I try to recommend right off the hop is when you first learn, when you first start learning, you first start seeking. You'll hear the term that was just a coincidence. Things like being given signs from the universe. People say, "Oh, if I found a feather or I found a dime," somebody really believes in that, and then somebody else will say it's just a coincidence. So I want to get that just a coincidence crap out of your head. There is absolutely no such thing as a coincidence. The universe gives you what you need to know exactly when you need to know it. Whether you listen or not, that's entirely up to you. So there is a fantastic book that's been around for, I was going to say centuries, I'm pretty sure that's not true, for years. And I recommend that when you first start looking, go to James Redfield's The Celestine Prophecy. There's a film about it that was okay. It wasn't one of my favorite films. I think that they could have made it epic and they didn't. However, it definitely will explain a lot. Now, when I teach, I talk about all paths. So it doesn't matter whether you're walking the Wicca path or the Christian path or the indigenous paths. All paths meet at source for me. So reading James Redfield's book and talking about Christ consciousness, I just simply replace the Christ consciousness with universal messages or whatever resonates with me. So when I read a book, any book from anybody, I take out that works for me, what feels right for me, and if it's a label or a name, I take that off. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So instead of God, I think universe. I used to think goddess, and then I thought God and goddess, and then I thought, right? So I learned how to go through everything to make what works for me a different label, and now I just call it source energy or universal energy. It's that which is everything. So when you're reading James Redfield's book and you come upon the part where he talks about Christ consciousness, don't just go, "Oh, it's a Christian book, close it and put it away," because the universe gives us amazing ideas and amazing concepts through creation, through creative forces, through writing, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. Pieces of history can be real, and there's stuff that we know people have written in that are full of caca. So read everything and take everything with a grain of salt until it resonates. When it feels right in your heart, then you'll understand it. So the biggest thing for me is start off with the Celestine Prophecy. Read the whole book. It doesn't matter if you go on to his entire series and the workbooks and the whole 9 yards. If you want to follow that path and it really resonates, then by all means do the whole thing, because he's got workbooks and the 10th Insight, and there's a whole series of stuff, and they're all fantastic. The biggest thing that I want you to take out of it is there's no such thing as coincidence, and this book talks about that. And then when you start looking around at what's happened in your life and you say, "Oh my God, I wish this hadn't happened or that hadn't happened," or I'm telling you, you wouldn't be who you were, you wouldn't be who you are right now if even one of those little things or one of those great big huge things didn't happen. So there's no such thing as coincidence. Everything happens for a reason, whether we like to believe it or not. And when the universe starts giving you signs,
Listen.
Absolutely. Listen, because if you don't, you will find yourself up against a plate glass window or a wall, or that's when we learn all our lessons, is when we don't listen. So there's no such thing as coincidence. Little things like being dropped feathers and dimes, Spirit speaks to us a lot like that, because it's easy for them through the veil to bring us little signs. Like, for instance, last summer I was hitting a roadblock with my painting. I was just artist block. I couldn't paint to save my life, and I was struggling to get through this particular painting, and I just couldn't figure out the patterning in it. Anyway, so I just said to the universe, give me a sign, show me where I'm supposed to go, blah, blah, blah. And I drove home that night, and on the way home, I counted 27 rabbits. Now, there's going to be a lot of people out there that said, who cares, in the springtime, in the summer, there's lots of rabbits. No. On 1 yard, there was 27 rabbits. Like, it wasn't one here and one there. It was slam. Rabbits represent creation, creativity, and new ideas. So what I took from that sign was that I had to get out of what I was thinking I was painting, put it away, start something completely new from a new creative force. And while I was finishing the second painting, I actually got the muse, the connection for the first one. So it actually took me out of my own head, out of my own way, and I found the answer when I wasn't looking, which is exactly how you're going to find all your best answers. So yeah, so the biggest thing I want you to read first is Celestine Prophecy, and realize that there's no such thing as coincidence. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we're going to try and do little videos so that they're not too big and too babbly, but I am a babbler, so I'm just going to have Melissa kick me when I start babbling. And we'll do maybe one a week or one every couple of days. We'll see what the reaction's like down below. If you're interested, subscribe.
And if there's anything you would like us to touch on, please include that in the comments so we can address it.
Awesome. We will see you next time. Have a great day.